Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an M41 HMC. It's the Tier 5 American SPG and we're located on the north spawn of Ensk. And the name of the commander is Darknamja. Now the M41 is quite a difficult Arty to play because it's got such a long reload. But we can see that Darknamja's got one mark of excellence on his barrel. So he obviously plays it quite a lot. This particular M41, in fact all M41s, were built on the chassis of the Chaffee tank, and you can see that because it's got the hexagonal plate right in the front, which is the cover plate for the gearbox, the transmission, because of course as with most of these RT pieces, the engine actually is up front and the RT is at the back, the gun's at the back to counterbalance. And basically it's a vehicle that's the other way around. Normally you would find the engine at the back of a Chaffee. In this particular case it's the other way around, it's at the front. So without further ado, let's see how he gets on in this battle. 155mm howitzer, and we're off. Now Darknamja's headed off to the far east of the map. Some players like to start in the field. This is an encounter battle, so normally you start in the field on the encounter, but they like to stay in the field because actually it's, there's plenty of hiding places here, and the only worry you've got is if the scouts manage to discover you. Okay, it's gone to aiming mode overhead, and that crusade has been taken out. The enemy Arty has been spotted. He was there. Now the enemy has got a GW Panther, 2 M44s. Now we don't know which Arty it was because it was only seen briefly, but somewhere there he is. Yep, in fact 2 of them there appears. Fires around in, and he's killed one. He got the GW Panther. So it was probably the GW that we saw. Although I thought I saw 2 tracers coming out from that position. So there might be another one in that vicinity. Otherwise, they've probably gone into town and they might be in grid square K1. Oh, there's another one. So yes, there is another Arty there. Or at least there was. He's probably relocated now. Gone back to overhead to see if we can spot the tracer. It's a 21.1 second reload, which is quite long, and that's what puts a lot of people off the M41, but it is actually fairly accurate. If you've got a good crew, you can land a shell very, very accurately over long distances, and it can fire over the entire map on some maps. Well, there's one Arty, an M44 dashing to the west. He stopped at the railway lines and just got taken out. I think it was the Cromwell. Yep. And there's a Panzer IV-H, but we've got a red line, which means there's some obstruction in the way. And I think it's those buildings in the factory area. I don't think he's going to be able to hit it until it comes out from behind, but he can splash it from here. There's a wall in between, though. Oh, some more enemy have been found at the back, and I think they're hiding behind those buildings. So Darknamja's going to try a shot, but there's a couple of enemies closer. It's an AMX 12 ton. He's loaded. He's dialing in. Getting ready to shoot. Now you see that's the other thing about the M41. Only a slight movement of the aim point and the reticule goes extremely large. You get a reticule bloom, as they call it. And when you get a reticule bloom, it means that if you were to fire, the shell could go anywhere within the reticule and you'll miss your target. You need a very good crew to fire with a fully blown reticule and hit the target accurately. So there's nothing for him to fire at the moment because there's nothing seen, but he has indicated where he's looking. So he's pressed his T key, and you can see the arrows appeared on the map as well as the circles on the ground, telling his team what he's looking for. And there is an enemy there. This is a Scorpion. Okay, he's dialing in on that target. See a red line. He's fired. Oh, he got a direct hit, and he's got a fire. Oh, and he's gone up! That's an arsonist! He took out that Scorpion with a fire. He set fire to the fuel tanks and it burned to death. So he's definitely got an arsonist badge out of that one. Now, almost reloaded. Going to go for the AMX 12 ton. Round out straight away. And a kill shot, 351. So that's his third kill of the game. And we just saw another enemy hiding behind, I think it was a KV-1, hiding on the red line right at the back of the map. It's not the place you should be if you're in a heavy. You should be fighting it out in the city with the enemy heavies. But it's free damage to pick up, and Darknamja will try and get as much damage as he can. He's a support tank. The SPGs are support now. One of the changes that came in since 9.18 was to try and make sure that all Arty support their teammates. And it does work, actually, funnily enough, and it's a lot of fun. You're helping your team. Oh, he got a big hit in that IKV 103. 237 hit points. Direct hit, I think. It wasn't a very big explosion, but I think he did a huge amount of damage to that IKV. Unfortunately, we can't see him at the moment because the KV-1 is around the corner and there's nobody spotting that side. And that's a bit of a worry. There's the KV-1S, and it looks like he's got the derp gun. That sounded like the derp gun. So he's probably got a long reload. Darknamja's dialed in, round out. Direct hit! 241 hit points. And he picked up some stun assist. Now the worry is that IKV 103 might be headed north. If he is, he's going to probably try and take out Arty. We are capping at the moment. I think it's the IKV 103 and the VK3601H is joining him. So we've now got two in the cap. And it's going to force the enemy to come towards them. We do outnumber the enemy. That's one thing in our favour. 7 versus 4. Well, there's one of the enemy. It's a Panzer IV H. And he's still 100%. Which is surprising considering this stage of the game. Oh, it went long. It stunned the Panzer IV H. But he's used his first aid kit straight away to get rid of the stun. But he's down to just 5% of his hit points left. And he's a one-shot for anybody. Yep, and he's gone down. He's been taken out by the Challenger. And the IKV 103 has been taken out. That just leaves the M44 still to find. And we don't know where he is. But Darknamja thinks that he might be in grid square K0. That's where he's aiming. Challenger's taking a look. Oh, yes, he is there. There he is. Round out straight away. Oh, and he's killed by the T25 AT before our shell lands. So unfortunately Darknamja misses out on any damage to the M44, but he certainly picked up a lot. He got 3 kills during that battle, and here it is. It's an ace tanker for Darknamja in the M41 HMC. He also picked up a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 11. An arsonist badge for setting fire to that M56 Scorpion. And lastly, he picked up a Gore's medal. He did more damage, exceeding 10 times the hit points of his own vehicle. So it just goes to show he was really hitting the enemy hard with the M41, and it is a difficult Arty to pay because of that reticule bloom and because of the long reload time. So well done there, Darknamja. Let's have a look at the team scores. Well, he didn't get the highest damage. That went to the T25 AT, and with that last kill of the M44, that picked him up the high caliber. Because he managed to get 2,214 hit points, whilst Darknamja only managed to get 2,043. If Darknamja's shell had landed before the T25 AT had fired at the M44, he would have picked up the high caliber for sure, because he would have picked up most of the hit points of the M44, and that would have put him over the total. I think, yes, the M44's difference is around about that 200 mark. So that's why he got the high caliber. But when it came to kills, it was the T25 AT who definitely got the highest amount. He managed 5, whilst Darknamja managed 3, and they could have platooned, actually, funnily enough, and that would have got them a brothers in arms a pair. But when it came to base XP, it was Darknamja who was top of the table with 936. The T25 AT managed only 848, but he did pick up the high caliber, so obviously that's his compensation. So let's have a look at detail report. Darknamja fired 9 rounds, only 9 during that battle. He got 4 direct hits, 4 penetration and 7 splash, which means obviously he was hitting more than one tank at once. And I think that shot that killed the GW Panther probably damaged one of the other Artys at the same time. And that's something that you should always take away from these battles. Never park your Arty next to somebody else's Arty, because if they spot the dual tracer, and there was a dual tracer from that position, then I suspect that he might have actually almost ended up with a Bombardier medal for taking out 2 Arty with 1 shot. But he certainly hit more than 1 Arty, because according to this, he hit 11 vehicles, or rather 11 splashes, 7 splashes and 4 direct hits. So it does look as if he hit some vehicles 2 at a time. He did damage of 2,043 hit points, all at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, more than half of the enemy team. He killed 3 of the enemy, that's 1/5 of the enemy team. He also did stun assistance of 306 hit points off 9 stuns. Okay, he earned 43,313 credits, and after ammunition resupply, he ended up with 38,768 credits. He received 1,404 XP, times 2 for the first victory of the day, so he took away 2,808 XP altogether. But very good game in the M41, which, as I say, is a very difficult Arty to play. And I think a lot of people are actually a bit disappointed with the M41, but you've got to persist with it, because the M44, the next Arty in the line, is an absolute peach. In fact, many people consider it the best Arty in the game, because it's got a fantastic fire rate, great accuracy, and it's got the mobility to go with it as well. So do stick with it and persist until you get as good with the M41 as Darknamja is. So if you enjoyed this replay, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.